I want to talk about Belbin team types, but I recently became aware of the team management wheel by Murchison and McCann, and it struck me that they are incredibly similar. In fact, the 8 types seem to match quite evenly, and so I thought it'd be really interesting to share this and talk about these different types of people that you might have in your team. When we're always talking about diversity and a variety of perspectives helping us to deliver a better product or service, this idea of different roles within the team is really useful. So in no particular order, the first one we come across is the one that Belbin calls the plant. Now, in both models, the role focuses on generating creative ideas and innovative solutions to problems. The Explorer Promoter, or what Belbin calls Resource Investigator, is the type of person who knows where to find information out. That might be other people, documents, guides, the internet. They're the type of person who's super connected. You might think of them almost like a librarian who knows where everything is. The Monitor Evaluator is the person who makes sure that we're making the right progress. We've ticked the boxes, we are moving in the right direction. They assess development as it goes through the stages and make sure we're on time, on budget, to specification, meeting the requirements that have been set. The completer finisher is the person that makes sure that the details done to the extent that the thing is ready to hand over to the client, that the product is complete, it's polished, it's ready to go to market. They make sure that it is finalized. Now, this is similar in some respects to the role of the specialist, but the specialist is there to make sure it's complete to any relevant or specific standards. They're the expert knowledgeable witness, as it were, who says, actually, this conforms to all the standards and guidelines or necessary criteria that has been set. As much as everyone's actually working on the product or service and looking at the processes, somebody actually has to look after the team, make sure everyone's there, working okay, working collaboratively, communicating really well. The team worker or upholder maintainer is the person that looks after the team as a whole and makes sure everything's running smoothly. The reporter advisor, what Belbin calls a coordinator, is the person who helps orchestrate, in some respects a little bit like a foreman, but it's not necessarily a role of control. It's just somebody who's stepped back a little bit and making sure everything is properly coordinated, things happening in the right order. If the team is split between component A and component B, both work streams are working well together to assimilate a product right at the end. So there are a whole variety of roles that people can have within a team, and the challenge, and we often talk about diversity, is to make sure that you have all of these bases covered. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a separate person for every role. Different people can have different skills, natural flair or ability, so you may have several roles covered by one person. But it's really useful to think about, are all aspects covered by at least somebody? And maybe even think about, which roles do you feel most comfortable in and which ones do you find challenging? I hope this is a useful look at what most people know as Belbin team types, but it was interesting to compare it with that other model, and they are very similar. If you're interested in similar tools, templates, training or techniques, please do get in contact.